Welcome everyone. This week's a little different. We are doing a first impressions video. That was weird. First impressions video. And this week is going to be Lost Ruins of Arnak. Keegan actually just recently got it, played it for the first time, and we'll give you our thoughts, so stay tuned.
All right, like Ryan said, this is our first impression, and it's on Lost Ruins of Arnak. This recently came out. I think people might have gotten this slightly earlier if they ordered it on Spiel Digital, but one of our local game stores just got it in, so needed to snag it because I've only heard good things about it. And just a quick overview of it, you are playing as archaeologist, very Indiana Jones-esque feeling. You can probably have the soundtrack on in the background if we wouldn't be really special and moody about it. But
why didn't we do that?
We should have done that. Yeah. But it's a deck builder worker placement game. I want to say if you like Clank, it has similar aspects to Clank, mainly because of like the hybrid thing. Not so much of like moving and finding rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and less deck.
Less deck building.
Less deck. It's just like a pared down version of that, basically.
Yeah. It's a nice condensed version of deck building and worker placement because you only have 2 workers to place. Yeah. But it's really cool. You just you get some resources. You have golden compasses, your basic stuff. Your cards are multi-use. You can use it for the effect that's on the card or use it for its travel cost because every location you want to go to, you have to travel to it. So it's really thematic in that way. You can also discover new locations or ruins, and those open up new worker placement locations in the game. However, every place that you open makes a spooky thing happen, and that spooky thing is a big old monster comes out. And like true Americans, you just decide to kill it instead of trying to understand it or research it. Ryan shot one with a gun. I gave one $1 and it flew away.
Well, okay.
But yeah, it's pretty much it. And you also have a cool... It's talent tree-ish feeling. It's a research track, but it branches off, and you can pick what bonuses you want to get. Yeah. Which is variable in the setup, which is great. That's pretty much it. There's just a lot of little small things in this game you can collect and get together that all kind of click. And Ryan,
somewhat, I guess. Click. I don't know.
So let's go into that. Yeah. What are you thinking about it?
So. As you were explaining to me, I was trying to think of like a strategy just to focus on. What do I want to do in this game? Yeah. I thought maybe that research track, I would just focus on that and kind of not really do some of the exploring and taking down spooky monsters.
Yeah.
And it did not at all work. I realized you don't really get to. This is not like a choose your direction you want to go. You really need to do everything. Otherwise, you just don't really get that resource like build up needed to be able to move up that track.
Yeah.
And I was like, as I was doing it, I was starting to notice it because I was like, dang, you're getting a lot of resources. And then you just started plowing up that track. And I'm like, I can't even like keep up with it. And you just beat me to the end, the top.
Right.
Even though I had started earlier and was really only focusing on that.
To be fair though, I think the strategy is valid because even at the end of the game, you only lost by 3 points. Like it was still very tight.
Yeah. But I also wasn't able to get all the way. Like I wasn't able to fully. You were the one that got the 11 points at the end for going all the way up. I couldn't even do that, even though that was my goal.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was like, oh, I feel so hindered with this first time. Like I should not have just focused on that track because I didn't have the good. Like going to like opening up all these locations didn't necessarily give me all the resources that maybe you were gathering.
I think a couple of things with that too is like the research track is very different in this game in the fact that you have 2 tokens you're moving up the track and one always has to be on par or behind it. It can't move past it. So that's the thing you have to balance. Like, do I want to push this one really far ahead just to get to the top or do I want to kind of balance everything out? Because depending on what you move up, you get a different bonus depending on what piece goes up. Also, maybe the location thing is an issue strictly with the 2-player game. Because I'm the only one that discovered new locations, and I only discovered 3. And those are the only additional locations we got in the game. And I think playing at 3 or 4, that probably would happen more often.
If maybe this board should have been condensed down for a 2-player then? I don't know. I don't know that that's really going to help with it.
It wouldn't help because it would still be the same amount of locations out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you really fix that 2-player because unless players realize that don't try to just go with that one single strategy. Do expand out and research some of those, or explore some of those locations so that there is more worker placement areas available. Because we were just kind of fighting over whoever managed to get there first.
Yeah.
On some of those locations, and
I did a little bit of a solo game, like a half of a solo game before we did this, and I noticed really, really quickly, like, man, resources are super tight in this if you don't try to go for them, which is the main reason I went out and decided to, like, go look up ruins. Because the benefit also with finding a location is you immediately get the resources of that location when you discover it, plus the bonus idols that are on the location. So you get a bunch of stuff just for going to find the stuff that you want.
Yeah.
And also buying... So in the card row, there's two types of cards in this game, too. There are items and there's artifacts. And the card row is split in half. So the left side is artifacts and the right side is going to be items. The items, when you buy them, they go to the bottom of your deck. But the artifacts, when you buy them, you get to activate them immediately. Yeah. So buying artifacts is also important in this because just getting the benefits off of them can be really, really helpful.
Yeah, that was my big way that I got a lot of resources throughout. And then obviously a lot of my 13 points or whatever came from the cards.
Yep.
But I also, I guess my researcher or my assistant that I got basically allowed me to keep doing that for multiple rounds to buy cards at a cheaper cost. I don't know that I would have had as many. I wouldn't have been able to afford as many.
That's true.
So
I mean, the game also opens up a bit because when you're the basic locations, there's 2 worker placement locations on each spot, but in a 2-player game, the second spot is blocked off for each location. So then if you play a 3-player game, I think 3 or 2 spots get blocked off, and the underside of the block off tokens show you which one you would go to. So you would shuffle them, and they randomly get blocked off.
Okay.
So that opens up a bit. So I think in a 4-player game, when everything is opened up, there's a better chance of you probably getting the spot that you want.
Yeah.
But I think just from playing it this time, cards are kind of important. I think the cards in the way of gathering resources are almost more important than going to the locations. The best way to get items for locations is researching or like discovering new ones, not necessarily utilizing the base ones. Those are kind of there in a way to like, I need just this one thing. I can go here and get it really quick.
Yeah, and I think that too is the problem, right? But like those bottom row ones really only give you so much resources, whereas the higher up, the number 1, number 2 should give you more resources for going there. And because I wasn't doing it, we are so limited, so we were just forced to go to those like basic ones the whole game, and it didn't feel, we probably weren't developing as much as we could have had both of us been looking discovering runes.
That might also just be like something we know for next time.
Yes.
Which is why this isn't a full review. This is just a first impression.
I think I definitely need to play this at a higher player count.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel at 2 players. It doesn't feel like it opens up enough. I don't know. It feels it feels pretty tight. I feel like it'd be open things up a bit more with more players, with more locations coming out. Cards cycling probably a lot quicker. You get to see other cards come out.
Yeah. Like for me, I had a good time. I liked this game.
I mean, I think I get the same feeling of playing like Clank at 2 players.
Yeah.
It's a deck builder like this where you're out and exploring and gathering things. It's better at 3 to 4 players. It feels like, because the game will go longer, you feel like you can actually start gathering things, and then you can actually start doing a little bit more instead of taking that like a full action just to get a single arrow or discarding a card for a gem in multiple rounds, especially towards the end of the game, because there's very few ways we actually had of getting gems. So I like this game. I think I'm gonna like it more at 3 or 4 players.
I think I'll like it more too. I think the solo in the game is very good. If you like playing solo games, I think this is one to pick up. I think the solo like build, the automata or whatever, it's very functional with minimal management. Like I hate it's coming from a person who likes playing Clockwork Root, but I don't like a lot of solo games that have a bunch of maintenance. Like you have to do all this stuff for the bot, and this one is legit just flip a tile and put a worker down, and that's the whole. Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's really easy, and it's variable difficulty too, which is great. So you can make it harder for yourself. Okay. The other thing I was going to tell you that I didn't tell you is that the board is double-sided.
I didn't even look at the other side. Yeah. Okay.
So the other side of the board is a slightly different setup. So on the main board that we played, when you get assistance by going up to certain locations on the track. So the other side of the board is the second exploration that we went on. The first one went horribly wrong and a volcano blew up. There's a thing on the top of the map. And when you flip it over, then there's a giant snake demon in the temple.
Great.
And some of the researchers got injured from the volcano blowing up. So when you go up the track, you rescue them. And they're on the track somewhere. So you have like the stack, and you have to pick the one that you want, and then like, oh, you're left behind, you loser, and then you keep going. So it's a different way of getting the researchers.
Okay. Interesting.
Which I think is the only main difference, but it might be more like slightly. Might have a slightly higher incentive wanting to go up the track. I think the main things that I took away from this is discovering new locations is insanely important just for the resource gathering purposes, because you get stuff from the location when you unlock it. You get the bonus artifact on top of the location. Then you can also use that artifact to also give you a quick effect to get maybe a resource you need really quick, which helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And then also buying cards is super important. And if you have the opportunity to buy a card that cycles through your deck, buy that card.
Yes.
Because there was one round in this. If the game's only 5 rounds long, it's very short. So even just like a 2-player game, and I taught you how to play the game, it was less than an hour.
Yeah.
It's very quick. I can see this even if we both know the game. We could do the game in 40 minutes.
Yeah. I did get a little bit of AP towards the end, but oh man, I can only bet some higher AP, like more AP would have happened had we had more locations out. Yeah. Just trying to, I'm like, I was like trying to choose between 3 towards the end. I'm like, I don't know.
I saw your brain trying to calculate what would give you at least one more point than another spot. But that's what you usually do in games. You get to crunch time and you're like, what's my biggest point location? And for me, if I get to the point where I'm thinking too much, I go, whatever, I'm just going to pick a spot because I don't want to think this much.
Usually it doesn't take me that long. For some reason I couldn't figure out where the best way to go.
Yeah.
And what I guess this game is really nice in the sense what you said was that we taught it and played it in under an hour for the first time. This is a very, I'd say, beginner style one. Style worker placement, deck building. It's hard to put them in that category exactly, but it is very simple to learn. Mechanics aren't difficult at all. It's pretty streamlined, very easy. Iconography makes complete sense. There isn't a whole lot of like effects that you have to do that you have to try to memorize. They're all on that effects, and it's pretty easy to figure out what they are even. And I noticed a big thing was the drawing additional cards was super important.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, not only just cycling through your deck, but to just keep drawing cards to keep playing was...
There was one round I went through my whole deck.
I know,
because I kept drawing
I saw
cards.
You, like, your discard pile was so huge. I was like, what the heck? You went through all of your... Holy crap.
I agree with what Ryan said, too, about this being an easier game, because, like you said, the mechanics aren't the thing that's hard to, like, wrap your head around. It's figuring out optimal ways to get things. That's where the game comes in. It's very puzzle in a way. I think it's great. I like it. I want to play it more. This isn't like one of my a game I'll play and go, oh god, why did I get this? Like I really like this. Also the art's beautiful. I like the art a lot. It's not invasive.
I love the board art is really cool because it does just like this jungle into this like mountain into this, and I like the water into like the basically maybe like ocean where you're sailing into this island and then into the jungles and then you go up to the volcano and it looks really cool.
Too with like because you have to spend certain types of travel icons to get the locations, but every travel icon the art underneath matches it. So if there's land, there will be a car. If it's on the water, you need a boat. Yeah, and the volcano is all airplane. Yeah, or like not all airplane. It's like boats. Oh, and
even
cars.
Longer car because it takes
it just so you have to get up there longer.
I'm curious to know how Max is going to think of it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, poor Max has been in quarantine now for a month, so
he'll be out soon, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Healthy. Only when everything is safe and everything for everyone, he'll come out. But yeah. Also, big spoiler for you. I didn't tell you either. This is first time design team.
Oh,
This is their first design.
okay. Who was it?
I think it's a couple. Min and Elwin.
Min and Elwin.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's a couple, but yeah, first time design. I think it's.
They did a good job for a first time designer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any other first thoughts?
I want to play it again. Like I definitely really like this game. It's great. All the art is great. Side note with the art, really quick, every card is unique too. So there's no duplicates. So there's unique art for everything, which is amazing.
Except for the starting hands.
It's starting hands and the fear cards, but like all the artifacts and items are all unique art and unique effects. I think it's a lot of fun. I definitely want to play this more. I want to show this to my wife really bad because she loves Clank.
Yeah.
She loves Clank. And I think she's going to really like this one too.
I have a feeling she'll still prefer Clank over this because I do.
Yeah.
I still think Clank's a little bit better. They are different. There's the worker aspect to it, but it still has that exploration feeling that I like that Clank for that. Probably. I mean, I want to keep playing this, but I have a feeling, based on how I felt with this, I was like, I think I'm going to like Clank more than this.
Clank's more of a true deck builder than this one, too.
Yeah.
This one, the deck building mechanics in this one work slightly different than normal deck builder games.
Yeah.
But I think I'm in the other camp. I think I'm slightly leaning more towards this game than Clank.
Interesting.
I love Clank, but I think over time, I think this one's really going to like hit a really solid spot for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, for our first impressions.
First impression.
First impression, that's right. Yeah, maybe we'll start doing some more of these as we play them for the first time. You can see what we think, and then our actual reviews is when we play a little more.
Yep.
But thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.